Rage on that beat, going crazy.
Hello, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Man, Goldie has been tough to trade. Yesterday I tried getting a Bumbleclot trade, a pre-NY, it ended up taking another L. Man. But you know, it's coming towards the end of it here, end of the month. We got Thursday and Friday. Today, tomorrow, and then I think, you know, it should clear up again. Look at these speed bumps here towards the end. Crazy. Man, Goldie is not playing around. It's PMs. Yeah, it's PMs. PM days for Goldie. So right now, gold is, we cleaned up a range from earlier today. So we just had from here to here mopped up quite nicely. This was about a free 37 pip free delivery range. Got nice FDR over there. And now we're having price break below here, heading towards the next point again, which is, you know, currently looks like it faked out 1, 2, 3, but it is looking to fill this area over here. So we filled up, not yet, not close to 65% yet. We're not yet there. Not yet there. There's still a bit more room left below those wicks. About 33 pips. Hey, what's up, Illest? The Illest. Now we have resistance here. This is gonna be, how many pips is that? Like 26 pips. Yeah, but you know the thing about gold I don't like right now is the way it keeps chopping up. It's like creating new lows and then pulling back up again. New lows and then pulling back up. That's what is a bit annoying about Goldie right now. The only fundamentals we have for today are unemployment claims. Unemployment claims. That's it. That's the only key thing you want to look out for. That's gonna be at 8:30, I believe. Yeah, 8:30. Besides from that, macro fundamentally, we have what to look out for. We have, let's see, gold firms near 4-week high. This is all technical based, by the way. Like this all PA that we're seeing here is all technical based. I think it's just profit taking and all towards the end of the week as we gearing up for the pressure on Iran and in the Middle East. So let's see. The buildup of US troops in the Middle East keep investors on edge ahead of nuclear talks in Geneva, while Washington stepped up pressure on Iran by sanctioning entities involved in oil and weapons exports. At the same time, Trump administration moved to maintain its global tariff strategy, raising concerns amongst trading partners. So Trump called out Nancy Pelosi in the State of Union address, talking about her stock portfolio and how much money she's making. You should see a stock portfolio. Insider trading. But isn't it like all people in Congress, like most people in Congress gonna do insider trading? Most of them. But you know, it's just targeted Nancy Pelosi. But they all do insider trading, man. If you see what those guys get as a benefit for that job is insider trading. And they can legally, you know, in a way, it's like they're the only ones who can legally do it, or they're the ones who get away with it mostly, you know. They have the privileges. Guerrier said the president plans to raise tariffs to 15% where appropriate, following a 10% levy that took effect after the Supreme Court struck down earlier reciprocal tariffs. On the monetary policy front, persistent inflation concerns pushed traders to delay expectations of the Federal Reserve's next rate cut to September. Oh. Let's see. We might have gotten some numbers here change. We got March, June, April, or June, no change. No, nothing much really changed. They said most likely pushing until September. September is at 84%, but July is at a nice 66. June is neutral. July is at 66% easing. But from March, you see, this is from, we're in February right now, about to head to March. You see, March, April, we're not expecting nothing. These 2 months are going to be for the war. For the war, because we still have 150 days till the next tariffs. Till Trump has to go to court again for tariffs. So we're gonna have like these 2 months over here, mainly just US Iran. I think that's gonna be the main thing. Yeah, and then we're gonna get summer months. Gonna get tariffs again towards June. I got July. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I'm waiting to see as well. I want to make an update video on the whole US Iran thing. But right now we're just kind of like sitting on our hands and just watching markets. You know, it's all technical now, based on PA. Monthly candlestick pullbacks, profit taking towards the end of the month. Yeah, I think that's why we're getting a lot of choppiness as well. Let's see what that daily candlestick closed like. All right, so we created a support. Technically, gold is still bullish. We have a resistance right over here. We just need to get through that on the daily. And then we can find ourselves up here, like it's about 166 pips. 166 pip range. Towards that resistance. Oh, 1,677 pips. Actually. Sorry. Yeah, 1,665. Anyway, that's where we're heading to next week, most likely. So it would be kind of nice to see if a candlestick can close above resistance right here, either today or tomorrow, because that's going to give us a little bit more cleaner PA on that Monday open for price to continue to move up bullish. You see, that's a problem. Like, that range is so nice. The problem is we're trickling. We're not like fully filling it up. We're kind of trickling there, especially on the LTF. We're kind of trickling as filling it up as we are waiting for something. You know, it's like price is moving up, so it's like hitting the brakes. It's hitting the brakes slowly as we're waiting for US Iran. That's what gold spot is currently doing. All right, nice. Candlestick just closed above resistance over here. See if it mops up this range. Breaks above this wick, 51.90. Got about a 27 pip range for it to potentially move up towards. Let's see. Daily bias is bullish. Currently, we are moving up. If I remember these commands, we got a few other commands over here. Got risk. What trade I take it today? Took a sell over here. Took a sell over here. It's kind of annoying because when I hit the sell button, it wasn't triggering me in. The good thing is I got a better entry. It wasn't triggering me in, then it pulled up. But the whole idea was like price was to, you know, start breaking below these lows and then to fill this range down towards support. So you can see we like filled it beautifully on the first try over here. Came, boom, tapped right into it, and then pulled back up, back into entry, and then melted again. Oh, probably gotta make a list of commands. Yeah, let me do that. I have to put exclamation mark command so you can see the commands. They're pretty long though. They're a lot. What happened here? All right, so we came slightly broke above the high, but not really too much. Very slight break, only about 0.2 pips. 1.2 pips. This is what I mean that I don't like so much about Goldie right now. It's like breaking and then pulling up. So every time you create a new lower low or a higher high, you see it keeps doing it in the opposite direction right now. There's been a bit of a shock in the water this week. But I guess it's bound to happen because the whole month was pretty decent. It's just basically what do you call it? It's basically that type of market condition where people like overtrade and then kind of like ruin the progress. It's very easy to do that. Like especially for me, it's been like a battle of like trying to maintain myself not to revenge trade, because in most cases, like if I revenge trade, I could end up making back the dub. But especially in these situations, there's a much lower probability that I'll get that dub, even if I get an initial nice follow through in the beginning. Because usually if it's a good follow through in the beginning, it's most likely just gonna play out. Even if it retraces, it's gonna play out. But of late, it's like even if it gives a nice follow through, retraces, it still struggles to continue, then overall flops. So that's the kind of like environment that we're in right now. So just being like very cautious. I mean, if it continues, then I would need to see how I can secure maybe 1% instead of 2%. Because if price pushes up, like let's say 0.5%, like 0.5, maybe about that much, then it would be like 1%. Right? If it pushes up 1 to 1, then I'll be like 2%. Remember, I use percent to my advantage. I don't use risk to reward. So it can only be like, if it continues like this, might just have to settle for 1% trades instead of 2% trades. But yeah, I think it's too soon to do that though. It is too soon for that. Got some resistance here on US 100. See if it breaks above. On the 15-minute, got some nice clean range. That's a 30-minute close above resistance as well here by 25 to 90. Currently heading up here on the HTF to fill that range on NQ. So a little bit of a breakout situation that happened here. It's coming towards speed bumps on the 5-minute. Got another minor resistance right over here. It would be much nicer break above 25,360, because then that's gonna have like a lot more clean range on the LTF and HTF. But right now, let me see this range from here to here. That's about like 18 pips. Breaks above this section. See, maybe on the 1 minute, if you're trying to get like a breakout, you see beautiful little breakout here. Although I'm not quite a fan of US 100 or NQ breakouts, the still play out pretty well from time to time, you know. But oh, looks nice right over here as well. Price came down, created like that structure, and then it filled up that range on the left hand side. Accumulation breakout, another one right over here, accumulation breakout. Man, if it actually moved like that all the time, like most of the time, that'd be quite appetizing to trade. Like right here as well, same thing, boom boom boom. But unfortunately, I don't know, like for the most part, since I've been watching NQ, it's kind of like a lot harder to get stuck in. But I need to see how it operates in the New York session. But yeah, Goldie looks like it wants to pull up. We're currently bullish 0.45% right now. 0.45% bullish. It just came down. It's accumulating right over here. It's getting ready for some kind of a push. If you notice, there hasn't been much like see everything good here. Yeah, that it hasn't been much. Oh wait, let me just read the chat real quick. Hey, good morning, Ricardo Architect. Vic, your bias indicator is not on. Oh yeah, thank you. Check this out. Yesterday after London close, volume died. Sheesh. Yeah, volume's kind of like you seeing it, right? Like this is gold spot, isn't it? Yeah, it's gold spot. There's been something interesting happening this week with the volume. Like that's why the follow throughs have been like keep pulling back up as well. There's been something very, very interesting this week. I guess people are getting ready and positioning themselves for US Iran. So people are kind of warming up for that. Looking at their portfolios, seeing what needs to be moved, etc., etc., could be the thing. Because that's going to bring a lot of opportunity to make money, you know. That's going to be a major fundamental we're all going to be looking at as traders. Waiting on German 40. Almost got in. Say, okay, I'm in. Oh, this is an L collecting Ls. Ooh, German 40. Let's see. Yeah, it's been a tough one. Let's see, German 40. What happened here? Oh, it faked out like that? Damn. This other one was kind of nice right up here. See how much that push? Like from here, break over here, push about like what, 10 pips? What's a good amount of pips for you, Ricardo, on German 40? On gold, we're looking at 16, 20, 30. Well, how many pips are you going to be aiming for? See, this range here is about 14. I would say like 10 pips is pretty decent on German 40. Like a little break here, a little 10 pip move, right? 10 pips seems to be quite decent. Yeah. Here as well, that's about 24. Strong push. Nice little swings though. Very nice PA right here. It's like a healthy market. See, that's super different from little breakout situation that happened here, I think. This distribution. Healthy swings. Markets move like this, much more predictable. A lot easier to trade. Because now you see like Goldie's stuck within this range, so got a little bit of we call it the gulag. So gold is stuck here in the gulag. We got resistance, we got support. This is whip central. See, I see how I messed up the trade. If you look left on the 5-minute, there's a big rejection zone. Oh yeah, I mean, like if you were expecting volume to come in, then it was like an impulse entry to get through that rejection zone. But yeah, obviously, you gotta expect like impulse entry, especially when you're selling into some kind of a support over there. Like, so if it's not like a true impulse entry to break through, then much nicer with clean range.
Why are you running?
With clean range, like right here, for example, for sure. Like these are definitely a lot more better. The setup can come in a situation like this. Now it's cleaning up the rest of whatever was left up of that 35 pip range below support. Yeah, so for price to keep moving down now, it has to break below this next zone. It's a lot more of a free zone as well. You have about 146 pips below that level. Whip City. Yeah, Whip City. Whip City, Whip City. Anyone caught the sells yesterday? I think there was the sells that we spoke about. Where wasn't it like a sell that we were talking about here? Yeah. Oh yeah. It was below support, below 51.73. There was a nice sell there. Yeah, I was trying to catch this sell. See like how it started breaking below that support area right over here and then started melting off. I was trying to catch that sell yesterday. You see, it came like so close to me securing at 2%. Then it pulled up, it took me out, and then it just completely melted. So annoying. Because I wanted to see that thing really push, you know? Because it even mopped up pretty good amount of this range. Not 65, but pretty close to 65%. It's a really good sell-off. Yeah, and Goldie right now is looking down by this area over here. So let's like leave a line. Gonna call this potential sells below. It's breaking out of the gulag. Nas opening my day. Gold steady in early Asia trade ahead of US-Iran talks expected today. On one hand, Iran's atomic program haven't advanced significantly since the US and Israel struck its 3 main nuclear sites last June. However, Steve Witkoff, the US chief negotiator with Iran, has said that Tehran could make fissile material from a bomb within days. Markets are closely monitoring the resumption of the discussions between Washington and Tehran. A breakdown in negotiations could precipitate flows into safe haven assets like gold, the CEO said. Yeah, we're just waiting on that shipment of volume to come in. It's on its way. Estimated time of arrival is going to be anytime from now. Just need to get that shipment. No shipment, more choppiness. We need some injection of liquidity. Here's Goldie. Probably gonna tumble. Probably gonna tumble once it breaks through 51.74. Got free delivery range. It's coming to just like yesterday's. Just the same exact thing that happened yesterday when it finally got through the support level. Right over here to come down and push bearish through the FDR. Now let's see, 5 minute here is tempting to go. Wants to break below support. It's looking at this wick right now and it's thinking to itself like, this is a nice little cliff jump over here. You know, like those cliff jumpers who are gonna do like backflips and stuff. That's what Goldie's, it's limbering up for. Thinking to itself, let me see, how many feet is this? Can we make a jump over here? jump into the ocean. I'm gonna draw a little bit of a swimming pool here. Draw a swimming pool for gold. It's gotta jump in here, you know. Wait, let's change the color. Little swimming pool. A little ocean. Gonna make a chubloop. When you get into the water and makes that sound. Chubloop. It's coming down here. So we got a support. Oh, look at this. Chubloop. And it's coming, you know, it's pretty deep water over here. Pretty deep water down towards 51.64. It's a God of War guy, huh? Damn, what's wrong with my voice? Like a Kratos jumping in. Holy, is this not AI? Damn, this guy brave. This guy is brave. I've seen a video of a guy snowboarding fall off like he fall off like a height like this, similar like this. He was snowboarding and he fell off, but he fell into soft snow, so you know he survived. That was the only thing that kind of broke his fall. So I guess if this guy missed it, I don't know, like the snow does kind of look soft, but yeah, that's wild. Kratos. When I was a kid, I could do backflips, but not off something like this high. Maybe something like an 8-foot ledge with maybe a gap of maybe like a 3-foot gap into the pool. That's real, yeah. So it looks like we kind of dipped our toes in the water over here. It's still deciding like to come down. It's left over a really big wick over there, and yeah, it's a pretty big wick. It's a pretty big wick to break. That's the thing. It's a pretty big wick to break. So it's gonna have to do a lower wick to come and break these lows. See, once it broke here, how much did we peaked at about what, 35? 35, still got lots of room there. As soon as the officials of my country started the negotiations, gold reacted like this and started dropping. It's always disappointing to find out it's AI, but does it really matter? It's still a cool video. I think we're gonna accept it, you know. We're gonna eventually accept it. For now, it's like it feels a bit weird when it's AI because we want it to be real. But it was like when we started getting targeted advertisements. Remember, like in the beginning, people found it quite annoying how Google and stuff would listen to you, or how you'd be tracked across different apps and get advertised from one app to the other app, the same thing. But over time, like people just accepted it, you know. They didn't like even talk about it. I think what is that like? But Mark Zuckerberg, always finding himself in court. I think he was in court recently again. Well, like that was about privacy concerns. But like I feel like with that advertisement thing, like we all just kind of accepted it. So with AI, it's the same thing. Like in the beginning, like people were really against AI videos, right? But as it's getting better and cleaner, it's like becoming just more impressive. More than anything, correct? Because if you've seen the recent AIs that making movies where you can have like Tom Cruise fight, I don't know, like Brad Pitt or something, you know, and you can make like a whole Hollywood scene with AI, and it's just like kind of impressive. They got the same voice. Have you watched even like Joe Rogan fighting Keanu Reeves on his podcast? Oh, pretty cool. How real it's getting. But the question is, Would social media platforms even be able to differentiate between what's AI and what's not AI? Because in YouTube's recent update, they had like a recent major update this beginning of the year. The whole idea was also to crack down on these AI and faceless channels. And you know, they're banning and blocking and removing a lot of these faceless channels because AI has created like too much content. YouTube already gets like 2 million videos uploaded daily. Now with AI, it's like people banging out too much content. So they're trying to like mitigate it. And the question is like, can they even tell the difference between what's AI, what's real, what's not real? That's why they got like, they're working with Google Gemini, their AI, to watch streams. So instead of it just it's kind of like what that what's his name, Wieland. Remember like Wieland was talking about here in this video from yesterday? I forgot his name. Justin Weirline. So in the end, he came up with like this AI that is kind of watching you and then gonna give you feedback, right? At the end of the day, I'll give it to him. Like, it's a smart idea. You know, we've brainstormed about that idea before on stream, but it's currently what YouTube is doing with Gemini right now. It's like this AI thing which basically watches you. You know, it's constantly watching you, see if you like you're real, what you're talking about, then actively suggesting your videos. So if we're like swearing a lot, for example, I think that can also affect the algorithm if I start cursing. It's like watching us right now, guys. It's also watching what you're typing, watching what Woods is typing, Architect, Sean, John. It's getting all that data. See what kind of a person you are. So, I don't know, like, you gotta have AI to fight AI, I guess. If you wanna bring down a wolf, you gotta be a wolf too. You can't send a sheep to do a wolf's job. It's watching Big Brother. The second most used platform to search. Besides from Google, it's gonna be YouTube. Yeah, but they changed a lot. They even cut iShowSpeed's salary. So iShowSpeed would make like, let's say, $1 million+ a month on YouTube. They cut his salary down to like 800K. I think he said something about it too. He said like, it's not fair because of the amount of work that he puts in. But still, 800K a month, not bad. I just used to use YouTube for the vines. Oh, you mean like the short videos? Yeah, apparently they're also like pushing short videos a lot. They want you to make more short videos. They want you to get more in a doom scroll because you know you spend more time on the platform when watching short videos. If you ever find yourself in that doom scroll and you just end up spending a lot of time just scrolling. So they're really like, there's even on the homepage design, it's designed more even for shorts than long form content. And I don't know, man, they're like really digging into the psychology, human psychology, like how long you spend on a video, like how your scrolling habits like. What channels you click when you scroll, and then it tries to manipulate the conversation. Okay, it's quite interesting. My analytics when the year started, my analytics were pretty good, like this. Then the year started, and then they had this new update, and then it went like boop, dude. It just flatlined. So I guess it's like in I don't know, like a YouTube jail. Like a YouTube jail. And then you have to like teach the algorithm and be consistent with it. Then it's start pushing it up again, hopefully. Yeah, but when it pushes quite nicely, I guess. I actually made a rule for myself that I don't allow myself to watch shorts unless it's educational. So if I'm on YouTube, it's a long video, but it can only be educational. It's been 2 years now. Oh, wow, nice. Yeah, and then it's easier for you to watch educational stuff if you keep feeding the algo that, right? Every now and then it's going to try and sneak in something different. Pretty cool. I'm thinking of setting one up to trade for me and see what happens. Yeah, man. Like the thing also with people, you like to use robots to trade, you still gotta monitor it just in case, you know, something goes wrong. Gold slips but remains above 5100 as markets focus on US Iran. So I try answers. Vince's look ahead to US Iran talks later on Thursday. Oh, we're getting talks today. US Iran talks later on Thursday. This is not scheduled on the Forex Factory. You only got unemployment claims. Let's refresh. Yeah, nothing. Let's go on the roll call. President participates in private meeting. President receives his intelligence briefing. President participates in executive time. Oh, what is executive time? So apparently there's some talks going on today. US Iran talks later on Thursday. With gains tempered by concerns that US interest rates could remain on hold for some time, still the metal is up more than 3.5% on the week, supported by renewed uncertainty around US trade policy and geopolitical tensions with Iran. Any escalation in tensions involving Iran is likely to add further support and reinforce gold's role as a hedge. Look at the way like price is trying to come down here. It's like wicking a lot. It's trying to fill this range though. See on the 1 minute, it's probably consolidating there. Yeah, it sets up a nice little support, then breaks. That'll look pretty good. Yeah, candlestick close like a support. Then the next candlestick to break below these lows. Probably going to see volume start to come in. And then price going to head down towards south side, targeted by 50, 51, 51, 59. Most probably. There are lots of rejections here. Pulling up, pulling up. What if it breaks without creating that support? Looks like it's breaking without creating the support. I think once to push, can draw our 65% mark here. Executive time equals cigar and whiskey. That's what I was kind of thinking. It's like some chill time. Him and his buddies in the Oval Office. Secretary bringing in some drinks, some cigars, like talking markets. How we're gonna make money here with US Iran, or talking about the previous money that they made. Executive time. Short videos are harmful to your mind. Super addictive. But AI is so cool, you know. You can have a phone like this, and like just record the phone. Like you can record like a scene like this, and then prompt it something like spaceship or whatever in space, and get the angle. It'll get the side angle and the movements and stuff. It can like make an actual movie and keep it consistent. You can choose what angles you want to get. It's pretty cool. I saw a meme that once said like Tony Stark just had unlimited GPTs. You know, Tony Stark just has unlimited GPTs because you can do a lot with AI, but it just costs a lot of money. For example, like this reel, Mr. Justin Wieland was sharing with you guys yesterday. So it might seem like a premeditated trailer, but trust me, like to make something, I think I skipped over the trailer. But to make something like this trailer over here, man, I can make this in literally, if I got my whole setup already ready to go, I'll make this within an hour with using GPT. And you can take ideas from different trailers as well, and then like put into the GPT, and it can create like something similar like that. It looks like really clean. It looks like you actually put a lot of effort into it, but you can get it done like really fast. I don't know. I don't trust this guy. He has an interesting look about him. You know, they say there's humans have like something like, what is like 15 personality traits. That's why sometimes when you meet people you've never met before in your life, you feel like you kind of know them, correct? And this guy is he's got one of those traits. Similar to the guy from, or well, the roles that he plays. This is the guy from The Social Network, Jesse Eisenberg. Like he's kind of got this Jesse Eisenberg kind of like snakish look, you know, like like too smart for his own good. Y'all see that? Kind of like similar resemblance. Like that's what I mean. Like you're gonna meet people in life, you're gonna feel like you're gonna know them already. The more people you socialize with, the quicker you are actually becoming like a good judge of character, or like getting a good understanding of what their psyche is, and you just get to know them better. Like the more, I guess, you spend time with them. But right off the bat, you can kind of like tell, like if this guy is, you know, what kind of a person that they are. See, where did it fake out? It broke below support. Small little liquidity grab after the push down. Let's see, didn't meet 65%, but how much of this range did it fill? About like 65 pips through that range. You see, but the way Goldie is doing it, it's not making it like too easy, because it's like breaking. It's breaking and then like slightly pulling up, breaking, then slightly pulling up. Then you just had like one big whip over here. So you see, it's like filling the range, right? It's doing that, but it's also a question of like how it does it, and what's the kind of context of the market we're currently in. You can see loads of fake outs, lots of pullbacks. It's really good to understand this for. We always say, if you're planning on doing like challenges, heavy challenges, or flipping accounts and that sort of thing, just understanding that market environment. Because most likely if it's your day starts like that, like really choppy and whatnot, like it's most likely, you know, if it's a day that you're planning on taking heavy risk, maybe it's not a day that you want to be involved. Like if you already see that it's kind of like choppy and not opening up a lot. So far we're still chopping up even since the pre-session here on gold. Let's see, like German 40 came up, filled the range towards resistance right over here. That support that got mopped up. Also German 40 looking quite interesting. It looks like some kind of a news came in or something, because that PA here looks so different from this PA back here. You know that guy's gonna screw you over. Yeah, I think he just had some kind of like a guilt. I mean, he said in the video he talks about love and forgiveness a lot on his channel, so I think he's like also an emotional guy. So he probably had like some kind of a guilt, and he was just trying to test the waters, I guess. His community was like, "Hey, hold up here. We're not friends. We're not friends. What is this?" But he thought his community is just kind of like, oh, just gotta listen to what he gotta say over there. But it kind of backfired on him. And the funny thing is, he already knew that. He said in the video himself that people's hearts are full of hatred and foolishness. He said it himself. He said people's hearts are full of hatred, people are foolish, and there's a lot of keyboard warriors on the internet. And he still went ahead and tried that gimmick. So what are you gonna expect? It's like saying a lion is that lion right there, man. If I get in this cage with that lion, it's probably gonna eat me up. And then you still get in that cage. And then you get surprised. You know, like those dumb people who get into cages in zoos. You get into a cage in a zoo with a cheetah or like some kind of a predator, and then they get surprised when it attacks them. You know, it's like the same thing. Gotta get surprised when you get bit. That's why they say you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. So we got a new support level right over here. We have potential sells. Again, below this level. See if like price actually breaks through it. Also got some potential buys above here now, since we created resistance. Potential buys above. Boom, boom. That's still a good sell side target because it's still ranging here by like 80 pips. It's the same way, like, you know, when you're over trading your account, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. When you take like risky trades, when you want to overtrade, when you want a full port, when you want to trade the news, all of these things, you know, you just mustn't be surprised when you get the result. But when you have like discipline, and even when you lose or when you win, you know how to call it a day, and you know you're disciplined, then, you know, at the same time also don't be surprised when you see your results become better and improve. You know, don't be surprised, because this is what you've been working for, correct? You've been working to build that discipline. Because sometimes a lot of people gonna get surprised sometimes when they figure out the power of discipline. You know, they're gonna get surprised by the result. But you mustn't get surprised, because that's what you are working for. Because sometimes it's easy to feel almost like you don't deserve it, because maybe you're not used to it. Alright? And that's the psychology again, trying to self-sabotage. Sometimes it happens to me. Like whenever I'm like on a really good winning streak, Sometimes I feel like I don't deserve it. So my mental goes through a small self-sabotage. Sometimes, like, I just want to, I think even Drake said it, right? Drake said it, sometimes you got to give some back to get it back again, to get it all back again. Like sometimes you feel like deliberately self-sabotaging yourself, so you get the feeling of having to work towards something again. Basically, that's what it is best explained as. See, that's why in life, winning all the time is also not good, right? Imagine if you got to win all the freaking time. You know, at some point that's gonna get to become like quite weird and depressing. So it's nice to get that challenge. I know it sounds funny saying it now, but when you do go on big win streaks, that's when you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel like self-sabotage. Usually it takes form of feeling overconfident. Sometimes it hides itself, that you might hide itself in your subconscious in form of feeling like you're on top of the world and you can't lose a trade. So you end up taking the riskier trades. So to you, you might feel like you don't want to actually lose a trade, but deep down inside, you kind of want to lose the trade. That's why you kind of risk it a little bit. It happens to people in all professions, correct? But the important thing is to just keep winning, man. Like, just be disciplined, just keep doing your thing, because that's what you worked so hard for. So why self-sabotage? Some of you self-sabotage your weeks. You know, you've been disciplined the whole week, and maybe you feel like, I don't know, the results maybe are not what you want, for example, and then you self-sabotage on like a Friday, and then you ruin it. So every day is like an opportunity to kind of do like a mental check, like a mental audit. That's why when you take a fewer trades, something like 1, 2, maybe 3 max, then that self-auditing is a lot easier. And you spread that across the day. Like, y'all don't understand how important it is to spread your trades across the day. If that's gonna be pre-London, pre-NY, because it might not seem like 1 or 2 trades is a lot, but it is kind of a lot, especially in the grand scheme of things. It's a lot. Like this February over here, we've already taken about 34 trades. So the one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to burn out. You know, like self-sabotage. Self-sabotage was also for a Mr. Wieland over here. Mr. Wieland, you know why? He got the self-sabotage mentality too, because if you look at this guy, for example, if you go on his channel, right? He's been on YouTube for, I think he said what, like 2 years? This has been on YouTube for 2 years, has 256,000 subscribers. I mean, he has a lot of videos. 1.4, I think I have like 900. He got like 1.4 thousand videos, but he has like 256k in 2 years. So in a way, it came easy to him. You know, some people, it takes them like so long on YouTube. They can be on you like 5 years to see a number like that, even more, 10 years. You know what I mean? But I think it came easy to him. So that's why his mental kind of like self-sabotage. Because he was like easily given. There was no character development. But trust me, like a guy like this, if he was grinding for the, let's say, the last 10 years or whatever to build this community, he wouldn't be pulling such gimmicks, you know? Because, you know, they say Rome wasn't built in a day. But for this guy, it was basically built in a day. So when you give someone something they don't respect, that's why I'm saying, like, even when you're watching like free stuff all the time, I'm not trying to sell you anything, but it's a mental thing. It's a true mental thing. When you never pay for anything, you don't give a shit about it. You know, if I made the mentorship free, like everyone would just be joining in, you'd see it quickly and then skip over to the next thing, skip over to the next thing. But if you paid for something, if you actually paid your dues, you treat that thing with some kind of you know, care. You take some pride in that thing. You know, that's why your parents also always taught you that to work for the money, to buy what you wanted to buy. You know, so if your kid wants like a PlayStation, if he worked for that PlayStation, he's going to take a lot more care of it than if you just gave him the PlayStation, correct? It's the same thing. These same habits follow you throughout your whole life. Because, you know, since you're a kid till your 20s, someone's been doing the thinking for you. By the time you get to your 20s, you have to rewire your brain and how that you can think about life for yourself. Because your whole life, someone's been doing the thinking already for you. So you see, this is like, this guy's like for example, like a nympho baby. I think that's what they call him. Like Nepo. No, Nempo. Sorry. Yeah, Nepo baby. You know, a Nepo baby is somebody who's been given everything. Has been given the comforts of life. So they're gonna pull stupid shit like this. Nepo babies, they develop this kind of like psychopathic, narcissistic traits as well, because they don't have much risk. You know, even him doing this, he doesn't have much risk. You know who this guy is. This guy could have a rich family. A lot of these people have rich family, like Lambo Raul. You know who Rambo Raul is. Lambo Raul, before trading, already had Lamborghinis and Porsches and all those nice cars in his garage. He came from a rich family. A lot of these guys just come from rich families. I mean, look at this house. You know? Look at the characteristic traits of somebody who's like getting it easy. You know, this is how they kind of behave over here. When you've had like an easy upbringing. You know, it's classic, man. Like, it's just up to you and being your ability to see through that. It's your ability to judge character. That's what it is. So, you know, nothing in life that comes easy is gonna last. It's here today, gone tomorrow. That's why building character in the markets is so important. Because some of you think like you're being held back or something is not working, but man, it's probably just like the universe holding you back. It's trying to build you good habits. So when you do become profitable, it's going to humble all these bad habits out of you. So it's not going to be something that ruins you later on. You know, sometimes they say God holds you back because it's seen ahead. There's something there that's going to destroy you. So he's going to hold you back a bit longer. So for you, it might seem like unfair right now. You know, maybe you're not where you want to be, but he's probably holding you back so to build that character. So something bad doesn't happen later. You know, because it only takes like one bad habit like that, whatever it is, can be quite detrimental to you. So for Justin, maybe he has that Nepo baby complex, but you see, he's learned from that. He's learned from that. So I bet you he's not going to do that again. Like moving forward, he's going to be a lot more mature about his decisions. But you see what happened? God gave it to him too quickly. Man, almost 300,000 subscribers in 2 years? Bro, God gave it to him too quickly. That's what happens when God gives you things too quickly. You know, now you're not going to appreciate it. Then you're just going to throw it all away like, you know, a spoiled kid would. That's kind of what it is. You know, when parents spoil their children, that's how they behave. They try and pull these gimmicks. Classic psychology. Classic stuff right there. So, man, every day you gotta come onto the trenches and look at it as an opportunity to grow your muscle. You know, your discipline muscle. So if you're losing, man, you gotta change your attitude towards that. You gotta say, okay, so today I'm gonna learn something. I'm gonna build my character, whatever that is today that I can build. Waiting for wicks to break, waiting for candle closes, waiting for my setup, managing my risk, whatever the lesson is here for the day, that's the character lesson we're gonna learn. And yeah, I think it's, you know, the best thing. That's why I say focus on the skill, right? Because the money is just gonna follow later. You probably heard that a million times, but it's the truth. Let's see, we got 5-minute range. It's getting ready for a breakout soon. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, that's one thing I'm gonna do. Every time when I got kids, every time a kid comes to me and he wants something, I'm gonna ask him, so how are we going to get this thing? What are we going to do for you to get this thing? Or whatever it is, whatever chore it is, already instill that into them at a younger age. You know, it doesn't have to be so difficult, but like, if you want something, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do for it? If it comes to problems, better come with at least one solution for the problem. You got this problem? Come with a solution. Simple as that. It doesn't have to be the right solution. It just has to be that you tried to have a solution. You know, you gotta build that character. You know, that's where parents go wrong. They gotta send their kids like Justin to go live their own lives like that. You know, they don't raise their children. You know, you gotta know somebody who's been raised properly. They don't pull shit like that. That's why when you get to your 20s, even if you weren't raised properly, man, it's your opportunity to rewire your brain. Like that's what it is. Critical thinking, yes sir, super important. Critical thinking and reflecting on the person you are and your day-to-day thoughts about certain things and how objective you truly are about life. See, we got a new gulag right here. Boom, boom, boom. Getting ready. How objective can you be? But you know, like someone like MambaFX though, he didn't come from a rich background. Like MambaFX, he's definitely got a certain level of maturity in him. Even though he looks like he does all this dumb shit, like you can tell the guy has some kind of a level of maturity. Like he definitely hasn't had it as easy. But like some other people, man, you can like see through it like immediately. Man, I could name so many names, and most of the time I'm right. Like, to be honest with you, like I would say like 80+% of the time when I have a certain feeling about a certain person in the trading industry, I'm right. I'm right. I've called out burnouts. So you can see like when somebody's about to burn out as well. I don't want to mention any names, but like, you know, you watch these people and you know this guy's gonna burn out. This guy's gonna fuck up somewhere down the line like this specific way. This guy, you know, etc., etc. That's why, like, if you're a trader and you got like a very complicated system and you're looking at all these smart money concepts and all this CTO data and all this volume profiles, I know this guy's most likely gonna burn out, for example. That's a recipe for burnout. Your system needs to be simple. It needs to be simple enough for you and efficient enough for you to come onto the chart, maybe like an hour if you're a day trader or scalper, and just be done doing as little effort as you can. So you're always pushing your ceiling to how efficient that you can actually be. Not how smart you can sound, not how much information that you can you know, this is not like an essay. It's not like a university degree over here that you gotta have all this information. You just have to be consistent and efficient with your approach to the market. But man, some people, they're gonna love too much information. But anyway, look at this. Price is coming up. Kiss of death. Got about 3 minutes for this candle here to close. Nice little kiss of death right there. Potential buy above this area here. Just like price has paused, right? It's again a point A. So you're in a point A. It's probably heading towards like point B. That's going to be the next point. So you see, like, market objectively has stopped. Market objectively has broken below support and it's not moving down. So that's the support area over there. And you can see it's paused. So there's a pretty good chance that it's going to be looking to like break this wick, candle close, and then re-break to move up high. That's just a probability. We're up currently 0.34% there on the daily as well. All right, like 2 minutes. Question is, like, sometimes okay, you know, like price is going to move up. It's also like how it's going to give you the entry. You know what I mean? Sometimes these ranges, they're just going to get filled even without an entry confirmation. Boom. They can just get filled like this. There's like 2 more minutes left. At least for a candlestick to close and then re-break the highs to move up. That would increase the probability a bit more. Nepo baby. What do you think about SCI? What is SCI? Come on, man. I don't know these abbreviations. What are these? Yeah. Imagine a billionaire thinking I don't deserve it. Yeah, never. A part of you has to die to become to take your mental to the next level. Like Bruce Lee says, everybody wants to learn how to win, but nobody wants to learn how to lose. To learn how to die is to be liberated from it. You know, so like a part of you does have to die to achieve certain things, because the factory settings, our factory settings as human beings were not designed, especially in this modern age, for such workloads. Correct? Especially when we're trying to push ourselves. Actually, it's not even, I don't even think it's natural. I read this somewhere before. It's not natural for humans to work 9 to 5. I think human beings have like a much less work schedule. I think it's like 4 hours. If it like goes back to the hunters and gatherers as well. Like you'd only be out there like for a certain amount of the day. You'd only be really working for a certain amount of the day. But you know, modern human has been like really pushed. Especially in countries like Japan. You know, country like Japan, man, their work culture is so messed up. Even on your free days, if you take a free day off, it's like looked down upon. You know, even if it's a free day that's been given to you. And they work until like from morning until midnight. And they're not taught entrepreneurship. They're taught more savings. They have like a very strong savings culture as well. You know, it's but like definitely if you're pushing, that's when you're working for somebody, because you know, when you work for somebody, we tend to work for somebody a lot harder than we work for ourselves. That's a problem, because when you work for yourself, you kind of have to push yourself a bit more, correct? But when you work for somebody else, there's always a feeling of if you don't get it done, then you're gonna get a punishment of sorts, wherever that could be. You know, but when you're working for yourself, especially as a day trader, because you're essentially an entrepreneur, when you're not gonna be disciplined, then you don't like, you kind of like, you don't push yourself the way you need to push yourself. You know, so our factory settings, they don't allow us for such things unless we really work towards them. But now that you know what it is that you need to do. Because a lot of people know what they need to do, correct? It's just that we don't do those things. Photos of Japan office workers during their 60-hour weeks. Sheesh. Yeah, exactly. And you know, they're gonna sleep. Like, it's actually in Japan considered, when you do this, this is not bad. In Japan, they actually consider this like when you fall asleep on a park bench or on the street, you know, they consider that as a good thing. They look at you and they're proud of you when they see this, because they say this is a salaryman who is working so hard for his company, so his company succeeds. So, you know, and they also have drink. Yeah, you see, and a drink right there. So what do? They work really hard and then they drink and then they pass out, but it's also looked at as a positive thing. Especially like, for example, sleeping on a train, right? In Japan, sleeping on a train is not a negative thing. It's a positive thing. You know, they look at you and say, this guy really works for his company. So they actually freaking slave away for other people. And you wonder, like, why work so hard for somebody else? You know, you see they're all suited up like this. They're all like salarymen. Look at this. This is all positive in Japan. Crazy, right? Insane. This is how hard we work for other people. Man, look at this guy falling asleep here, waiting for the bus. Insane. But you see now, whenever you now have to do it for yourself, you're not gonna work this hard. Imagine how hard these salarymen work. Now imagine if they worked this hard for their own businesses. Can you imagine what they will be able to achieve? But you know, it's a bit of indoctrination as well. So when you grow up in a society like that, it's just like, you know, what's kind of going to be expected of you. It's to work somebody else. So the energy is there. You just need to tap into it. That's the way I look at it. You're always going to have two versions of yourself. You're going to have the weak version of yourself, which is the factory settings version of yourself. Then you're going to have the updated, the AI version of yourself, which constantly needs capital to keep it going. You know, just like AI, you constantly need to provide capital for AI to keep it a thing. Right? That's why AI is overall right now kind of losing money, if not break even. The AI industry. So that's the second version of yourself. You always, and then the price changes. Every day the price is changing for XY reasons. But I think like once you start thinking about life like that, then you start to see it in a different way. You start to see life a bit differently. So I always say like, man, if you, especially in trading, when you're gonna get so many opportunities to get discouraged, when you wake up in the morning, wake up with a positive mindset. Whatever the day is gonna bring for you, a win or a loss, just wake up with a positive mindset. Because look, if you're currently not winning, you have no control over your day becoming a winning day, but you have more control over how you're gonna react to that day, whether it's gonna be a losing day, and what you can do to get better there. So right now, for example, I'm up for the day about 3%. I'm looking to take potentially another trade here today. So yeah, that's what I'm waiting for. We're just kind of like watching price right now. Gonna see what kind of moves it's gonna set up. So I'm not gonna revenge trade. I'm not gonna force any trades. And if that next trade loses, you call it a day. I was so exhausted once I met 5 versions of myself. What a blessing, man. What a blessing to be exhausted doing what you love, though. You know, that's what you ask for at the end of the day. All this pushing yourself. It's a blessing to be exhausted when you're creating the life that you want to create for yourself. Man, man, the other day, I went to the gym. I did my pull-ups. I got back to my home gym. I only go to the gym for pull-up bar. Got back home, and then I was so tired, bro. Like I was not even tired. I just did. You know, when you tell your brain it's tired, it gets tired. Correct? I was not even tired, but like my brain was becoming weak. Like that weak version of myself was winning the battle. Correct? So, you know, I took my gloves off. I changed back into my comfy clothes. And I was just thinking, man, I already did like pull-ups. Come on, like just need to keep pushing yourself. I already got up. The strong version of me pushed myself to the gym to get the pull-ups done. I got home. The weak version of me came in. I changed back into my clothes. I'm like, come on, Vic. Like, you got to finish this now, because if you don't do this now, you're going to have to do it again. You're going to have to start this whole process again. But if you do it now, you can take the next 2 days off. So I put the gloves on. I changed back into my gym equipment. I put the gloves back on. And then I was doing like lateral raises. Man, I did one set of lateral raises, and then I put it down, and I was like, I took my gloves off, and then I was gonna go change back again. But then that strong version of me, like, was still trying to like push, like, come on, man, you have to finish this. So yeah, eventually the strong version did win. So I put the gloves back on, and I started lateral raises again from the beginning. And I tricked myself. I just tricked myself into thinking that I have the energy and I can get this done. And you just do it set by set. You just take it rep by rep, set by set. And before you know it, you're 50% halfway. You're on your third workout now. You're 50% there. You know, and then at that point, man, there's no looking back. You just have to keep going. The next target is like, can I hit 90%? By the time you hit 90% of the workout, you just might as well finish it 100%. But that weak version, damn, it really fought me this day. Like, I haven't been fought by that weak version of myself in a long time. But damn, like, I'm gonna tell you one thing, chat. There are those two versions of you right now. It's true. Those two versions. So you always gotta like feed the other version that needs to get shit done. You don't have time to be depressed and sitting around and playing the victim and feeling bad for yourself. You gotta bring that other version out. You gotta train him. It's like Fight Club. If you watch Fight Club with Brad Pitt, like how this guy always brings out this version of himself. You gotta bring this guy out, man. You gotta bring this guy out a bit more often. So your subconscious knows that, you know, when he comes out, then he can do what needs to be done. Can't be this guy all the time, you know? Because nobody likes discipline. Like, that's what they don't tell you. Like, nobody likes to be disciplined. What's my stream schedule? I stream London Open. London, that's 3 a.m. Eastern. Gold slips but remains above 5,100 as markets focus on US Iran. Yeah, it's getting ready for a pop-up. You see the candlestick closed above here, but it didn't re-break the highs. So there was a lesser probability that price would move up here on this candlestick. So it kind of like push itself back in. Still no daily bias? Yeah, no daily. We're at 0.30% right now. Can you please tell us how you draw those candles on TradingView? Oh, this is given to me at the... this is given to me when you complete the course, the TFX course. When you complete it, then you're gonna get this. This is part of the elite status analysis tools that we give away here at TFX. He was definitely the type of guy to encourage you to do something bad. Then as soon as police came, just starts giving into... oh, info. Yeah, exactly. You know? Doo-doo-doo. Wabaki. He's got some wabakis. The wabakis. Wabaki. You know this guy from Tokyo Drift? Apparently he was a I think he acted in Disney before everybody kind of knew him from Tokyo Drift. Brian T. He was like a Disney character. Is it Disney or Nickelodeon? Probably. Yeah, from this show, you see? Look at this. Look at this is a guy. I think this is when he went to Tokyo. That's when we got Tokyo Drift.
I'm going back to my homeland to see my mother.
Are we packing up your car?
There's nothing for me at PCA now. I'm going back to my homeland to see my mother.
All right, Goldie, can we close 51.81? We need to close 51.81 so price can move up here. We have a 70 pip range to fill. You see it's gearing up right now. Look at this. Look at this accumulation. It's getting ready. It's going to break this accumulation and then volume should be coming in. So that price can move up bullish there. I'm hoping we hit PDH. Yeah, we got resistance here, I think, by 151.90. And then if it breaks below support, we're going to get support here by 51.59. That's it. That's all that it is. The question is, how can you catch a move from here to here? How can you get stuck in with some kind of a confirmation? Do you see the first bit of confirmations are going to come like when price starts to break these highs by 51.82? That's going to be now when the wheels of probability are going to start to spin. And then price can maybe break these highs. And then we're going to see ourselves up here by 51.89. But until then, you see like price is not going to go anywhere. It already tried to break above once. But this candle couldn't break the highs of that previous candle high. So all you got to do is just wait. You know, you got to sit on your hands and just wait. Wabaki. See, once it breaks those highs, you see some kind of a volume coming or something, you know? See, London Open, we had one sell here. Little sell-off situation. So we had one potential move for London Open right here. Not the cleanest, but definitely something cooked up. As you can see, it also coming out of that distribution with the distribution. And now this would be the second. This would be the second attempt at a breakout since the London Open. So you got one sell and then you're getting like one potential buy there. So you got to see now if price can keep moving up bullish. And what else is going on here? German 40 is also breaking out. It's accumulating right now. It's trying to break out these highs. A lot of volume just came into German 40 as well. You can see it's starting to push quite a bit. So on the 30-minute, few rejection wicks there. On the 1 hour, price can break above the hourly resistance to keep filling that range. It's gonna be, you know, like 39 pips, 40 pips on German 40. Let's see what else is going on here. Bitcoin filled the range that we're looking at on this small area. Came down towards support, but the main zone that we want to see BTC break is 60k. You might see a recovery on Bitcoin if it can respect above this high. That's going to be around a 70,900. And breaks above, boom boom, respect the zone. Most likely going to see a bit of a recovery up there towards like that 80k mark. But we want to see BTC actually sell off more than anything. Dip below 60k and then come down back here towards the 30s. So that's our target for BTC overall for the year up ahead. Probably going to see Bitcoin come to further downside if we can break 60. Let's see, silver is still skyrocketing over here as well. Monthly time frame is bullish. Weekly looks good to correct this range. Let's look at the daily. Daily is also trying to gear up here on silver to keep moving up. I think this will be for the week up ahead. This is the range that we're looking on silver. Most likely going to keep moving up bullish there. See what Goldie's doing. All right, gold is pulling back. It's trying to push up. Still trying to like poke its head out of this area over here. See if I can feel that range. And what is this? This is platinum. Platinum's also on the way up here. So I feel like with commodities are set up in a way for price to move up into next week. All of it is set up like gold, silver, and platinum, all looking good to push up for the week up ahead. It's a good sign. Let's look at the DXY. Dollar index. Got resistance. We got support. Now this next area over here. Yeah, DXY looks like it's accumulating as well. On the weekly. Slight barcode over there. Dollar should be weakening though. Overall, we should be seeing this thing continue to tumble down. You can see we're still below the accumulation right over here. See how I broke below it? And now it's accumulating. So we're still below this key level, which is, you know, resistance by $100 psychological. Right over here. Boom. So you know what this is? It's like a reversal play. So if price on the dollar starts to break above resistance here, and it breaks that wick, then there's a good chance it's going to pop up. Right? It's going to pop up a bit more. But you see, like right now, since we're still respecting that area, which is like you can see it's a structure here, which is accumulation, break into a psychological mark, $100. We're still holding $100. If it re-breaks the lows, then it's going to tumble a lot further towards the downside. Maybe towards like 90. 90 may be the target for further downside on the DXY. See, Goldie's what? What is Goldie doing? It's trying to push up. How does most... Oh, this candle here didn't even close above resistance. Candle here closed below that resistance by 51.81. It's like a thinning out of volume on gold. That's the thing I don't like about Goldie right now. Because you see, it's like all these wicks starting to build up and stuff. It's like a thinning out of volume. I would say like typically after a break like this candlestick should have already moved up, to be honest. Like it should have just pushed up like this. But you see now at such a key area, it's starting to give us these small wicks. So let's see. Boom. Pushed up. Yeah, it's still struggling here. Candle didn't even close above. Need that 1 minute candle to at least close as a support. Again, like one candle here closes as a support, then the next candle should continue to pull up. Because if it doesn't pull up and then it starts re-breaking this wick by 51.79, there's a pretty good chance that it's going to come back into the range right here after this bullish candle closure. No, like 8 seconds. It's trying to pull up. It's trying to pull up. I don't know why it's struggling here. Because it's got a clean range. Technically, it can move up towards like 51.89. It has clean traffic to move up. I think it's just struggling because it's just the overall market psychology of gold today. You know, we're seeing a lot of these like break of structure, pull in the opposite direction, break of structure, pull in the opposite direction. But technically speaking, this thing should start ripping up. Gold needs to move to point B. Yeah, it is. It should move up. Like, it clearly is trying to move up. You can see it as well. I don't know why it's struggling. But the reason I think overall is just like a thinning on liquidity because we're heading towards the end of the month. That's the only thing that I can think that creates a variable like choppiness. So you got some flat lining over here towards market close yesterday. Oh, this is market open, I think. Oh, this is yesterday after London close. This is London close. Oh, these are kill zones. We got London close. It's like a slight, even if candles are moving like this, you can still see there's a slight thinning of liquidity overall. But technically, it should move up. Technically, and probability-wise, it should move up. It is setting up for a sell. If it was setting up for a sell, then it needs to be breaking below like some kind of a key support area there. This is like setting more for a buy. Only thing if it's setting up for a sell, the only thing maybe if it breaks below, the only thing like you can justify a sell is if it breaks below this wick. That wick here by 51.79, because then that would be that reversal play. You know, if it's struggling here at this kind of like minor resistance, then that would be that reversal play. Because see, it's already broken a key level of structure. And if it struggles and accumulates like this, and then breaks those lows, most likely gonna now trigger the sell orders to try and push it to the downside a bit more. Typically not a good sign whenever price does something like this. Creating some resistance over here. Needs to start and try and re-break its highs by 51.83. Not a good sign. Unless it can wake up and break 51.83. It's doing basically this on DXY. You like DXY break below support and then starts accumulating. Basically doing that on the 1 minute. Boom. Broken above. Now it's thinking. Should I give these buyers a whip? Should we whip them or should we go in their direction? Because you know you gotta have like stops all over the place inside this range. So it's thinking right now, what should we do? Should we spare the buyers or whatever's left of the buyers? Or should we come down? But you see, technically it should be moving up. It's just like you gotta see how price behaves in key areas. So this is what we call like high volume area right over here. It's a high volume area. Hey Schwartz, good morning. I'm staying out of gold today, 4-hour chop. Yeah, it's kind of choppy today. It's been kind of choppy, like honestly, the whole week for me. Like I've been trying to catch like these really nice runners, but kept getting like stopped out on runners. Or not even just runners, just in general. It's getting choppy, so you know we're just kind of like watching price right now, and you can see it's still giving us that behavior that we don't like to see. This thing would have gone by now. That's how Goldie is. Goldie, most of the time, like when it means to do something, it's gonna do it. It's not gonna beat around the bush like that. Even if that plays out, not a good trade. Too much. You see, it's rejecting here on the 1 minute. It's created like resistance. Yeah, the sellers are gonna be triggered if it breaks that low. You might see it's a little bit more sell orders come in. So you got that reversal play. These are unnecessary pullbacks for something that wants to move up if it wanted to move up. See, it's tricking them. It's doing some crazy psychology here. Because even if you look at this candle on the 5-minute high, we close right by that resistance. Right by the resistance for this one to push up. To close up again, and then for this one to still not break the highs. Kind of similar thing that happened there. Pushed up, boom, this one still didn't break the high too. But there was a high volume area right here when it started breaking the accumulation zone. How much did it even push, like, from the accumulation from here? Let's say here, could we get at least 16? Nah, it didn't even do 16. It did like about 12 pips. So it's struggling to go somewhere because, you know, you can't really take a trade like in the middle of a range, but there's only going to be a setup at the top of it as it tries to break out, and now maybe at the bottom as it tries to reverse. But the candle should already have broken these lows. Unless now it creates a support here, then you'd have this section. You'd have that support, you gotta have that resistance, and then it would be, the confirmation would move basically from this wick down to this wick. That would be by 51.79, and then a reconfirmation for the buyers again would be above 51.83, where the buyers can reattempt to fill that range. But for sure on the first go, it looks like there's been a bit of psychological work that's been done on these pullbacks. So now it's setting up again. It's setting up a point A again. So it's no longer to do with this anymore. It's more to do with what's currently happening right now. So this is out of the question. The market already did psychological work on these, on that setup. So now it's setting up something new again. Remember, every moment in the market's unique, right? So it's setting up that fresh new setup right there. So it's gonna try to fill that range again if it re-breaks the highs. A little psychological work. That's kind of what the case has been on Goldie this week, to be fair. Got a pretty late start to my day. I got legs to do right now, and I'm not excited. You got this. Gotta push through it. Gotta pay your dues today. Schwartz, you have to pay your dues, boy. Like Kratos' son. Boy. It's leg day, boy. Imagine having a father figure like this, like Kratos. It's time for legs, boy. Yeah, this thing is trying to do a secondary breakout. The primary breakout was a dud. Now it's gonna attempt that secondary breakout. Let's see if it's gonna Judas this or it's gonna play out. This one is arguably just as clean as the first one was as well. They're both pretty clean, to be honest. I think the first one would have been washed out because of the pullback right down here. It pulled about 25 pips. Let's see what's going on here today. I'm super cautious with Goldie right of late. Super cautious with Goldie. I'm curious, have you figured out why to all things you do? Or figure out your why to all things you do? Oh, look at this. Now it's getting ready to break. Needs to get like a proper break, because you know price gotta move somewhere. You know, no one's getting paid right now. There's no distribution phase, so nobody's getting paid. It's gotta freaking move. This is the range that it needs to correct. Have I figured out my why in life? The why question can be answered by two versions of myself. There's one version of myself which is almost a nihilist like Rick from Rick and Morty. You know, Rick and Morty, since he understands the universe and how universe behaves, nothing makes sense to Rick, right? From Rick and Morty. Like, he doesn't care about anything. You know, even when Morty dies, what Rick will do, he'll go to another multiverse and replace that Morty with another Morty. You know, so for Rick, nothing in the universe makes sense. That's why he has a drinking habit, and that's why he is the way he is. So I have that version of myself, and it scientifically makes a lot of sense. And the other version of myself, it's like, you know, our morals, like what's your why? Your family, you know, you want your family to have a good life. You want to have a good life. You want to take care of yourself. And most of the time it's just towards family, you know. That's most of the time our why we do things, to protect those around us and to live a good life, because, you know, I'm definitely here to suffer. I'm definitely here to enjoy life, you know. I'm not here to suffer. I'm here to enjoy. So those two versions of me is my why. Brilliant cartoon that is. Rick and Morty is very smart. I'm definitely here to enjoy life. I'm not here to suffer. I'm not here to make life harder for myself. Let's see. We got 5-minute candle here is closing bullish. It's attempting. I think this one's looking already pretty decent so far. If, like, you know, we just got a 5-minute closure above. It's looking a bit stronger because of it's a support being formed, like a break and a retest over here. It's a small break and a retest, kind of like support that's been formed to close above, to re-break, to keep pushing up. Like, the thing is, it wants to go up, chat. Like, it's itching to go up. It's just I think as we're approaching the end of the month, I'm not sure, it's just a bit of hesitation here and there that's kind of ruining it for gold. It's gonna go up, man. This range is the one that needs to get filled. I'm not here to suffer. I'm actually here to suffer as much as possible. Oh, Borde likes whips. We give you a whip. We suffer, my G, with gold. Enjoy. No enjoying without suffering. Yeah, you see, that's why I got that's why you gotta have two sides of the coin. That's why my why is those two versions. Slightly nihilist, and also at the same time understanding the importance of, you know, things could be really bad, things could also be really good. You can't have light without dark. You know, like when Rick and Morty says rubba-dubba-dub-dub, you know what that means? That's an alien language that it means rubba-dubba-dub-dub, or whatever he says. It means help me, I'm in pain. Let's say you gotta sometimes see, like, the most happiest people in life also sometimes understand the value of pain. They have a depth of pain to them. So you ever see someone like who's like super happy? Sometimes you're like, wow, man, I wish this guy was like, you know, how is he always so positive? How is he always so happy? Those are the people who also like suffer the most. It's better that than being oblivious, in my opinion. You know, being ignorant about things. It's much more stable. You have a much more stable psychological makeup if you understand those two things. Because you see, like, it allows you to see life from a different lens. So if, for example, if you took a buy here, and let's say for XY reasons you failed that buy, you know, you still give yourself some kind of a capacity to think differently about the situation. See, it's like filling up the range as it should have been doing in the first place. Don't know why it took so long over here. But it's coming up towards like 65%. So it looks like the first entry confirmation there was a dud. A small like little retracement over here, which was not nice. It retraced about 25 pips. The secondary entry confirmation was the one that ended up playing out. Little hesitation in the market today, but still somewhat trying to respect PA. Did you take this buy, stayed out? Now I'm just kind of like watching price. I would like to see if this trade here played out smoothly. That would have given me a lot more confidence for my next setup. So now I'm still thinking that my next setup is probably going to pull back on me, because that's kind of still what the market characteristic is. It's not playing out on the first go. So I'm just being like very cautious about the trades. But yeah, it's doing what it should do anyway. Like, it's supposed to fill this range. And as it's filling this range, the next range we have here is going to be 25 pips towards 51.93. But it's not as an appetizing range as this one. This one's much nicer because you can see the way it came down. Boom, created this little accumulation down here. It's like within the valley, correct? Like price came down like this into a valley and then went up. Like this is a really nice type of a PA over there. I prefer these ones than these kind of ones, like right here. You see, we have two forms of that range correction. This one here, which is a bit further off, and then you have this other one here inside the trenches. Yeah, the trencher ones are more comfortable. These other ones, it's kind of like a soldier running into battle, right? Like you're running from one stone wall to the next stone wall. And down here, it's like you're running from one trench to... Yeah, like you're just inside a trench terrain, correct? Like it's a lot more comfortable. You can lie down in there and, you know, but this one is like running from here to here. I hope that makes sense. You can see it if you open your mind to what I'm saying, you will understand what I mean by the difference in these two. And this morning's was kind of like running from one stone wall to the next stone wall, for like from here to here. Which are still good. They're still pretty valid. But you can think like this is more of like buying a dip in a sense. So you get like a dip of PA to come up inside this area. Nice. So we blew past, what's that, 65%? 65% of the range that we mopped up. Holy! There's the volume coming in now.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Yeah, now we've tapped now the top of the range. That's a buy side target. So rejections are coming in here. You're going to see some profit taking potentially. Reactions off of resistance from market participants from down here. Remember, if we were going to trade like slightly differently, some people are going to have like much bigger SLs. But the idea is you're trying to get into the same high value area as where everybody else may potentially be getting into in the market, correct? But everybody's going to execute on that slightly a bit differently. But you see, we've had a distribution phase now, so that's what we call a payout. So this is like when people start making money, you know, P&L start to increase on MetaTrader. It's in distribution now. Big difference. This and this. So can you press closing 81 million? I saw him close once 100 million pounds. Something like that. Why is the stream delayed? It's delayed like 10 seconds. All YouTube streams are delayed 10 seconds minimum. Rubber dubber dub dub. See, profit taking. Because we don't know what's going to happen at this point. Right? We don't know what's going to happen. All we knew was like price was going to move from here to here. From here to here, point B. So now to see what's going to happen here, that's going to be a different story. Because it can either keep moving up or it's going to come to retest these previous entries over here. But it becomes a bit uncertain. Because it's filled the range. It's done what it should do, correct? So you see this? This is what we call this price action. So welcome. If you're new to the stream and you've been trading ICT your whole life, this is now what we're calling here price. We have to say it together because now you have to unlearn all that garbage so you can relearn something of value here. So we gotta start again. Now this is gonna be called price action, not FVG. Not PD arrays. This is price action. You know, so come to the front of the class. Everybody who's new to the stream over here, especially those diehard ICT fans, come to the front of the class. We need to talk to you here about what price action really is. You know, so look at this. Look at this. So this is day one. You're gonna see in this class, you're going to see this happen on a day-to-day basis. And the more you see it happen, the more you realize that this is how price should behave. Correct? It shouldn't reject in the middle of the zone, privy to what you've been taught. It's supposed to go through that area. Because this is what we call a clean range over here. You know, we're going to kind of limit the abbreviations in this class, but this is what we call like a free delivery range or a clean range. That price, if it breaks from here, it's going to fill up this range to this next resistance. Are we together? But ICT do the same work also, I think. Do you think or do you know? There's a big difference between I think and I know. But I don't think so. Or let me say, I know that he doesn't. Because now you see this has been filled right over here. You have to wait again for this whole thing to set up. It's gonna have to set up here again. It's gonna have to set up here again. So since the London Open, this has been like one of the only key structural moves that have been played out. The other moves were a bit like quick paced. Not as clean. It did attempt to break below that support area here. It filled up some of that range. But as you can see, a little bit more random. Do we get like a candlestick closure at least? Let's see. Candlestick close below support. Yeah, low volume. You can see like with the wicks building up like this. That was like a low volume at a key area. So this was just like, I think this is like paid out quickly. It paid out quickly, but also liquidity grabbed down over there. So this was the only true key structural trade right over here since the London Open. This was just setting this up. So you see this move down here. There was a potential accumulation in there. And I can see it on the 5-minute as well because of the doji. But it was not the cleanest. But it was setting the stage for this next move right over here, which was that really good foundational break towards filling this range to 51.89. So you see, like, market sometimes gonna move like really slow, so you gotta give it time to set up. You know, since it's already filled this area here, you have to give it time. that candlesticks maybe are gonna start to move down again. Like this, and then it's going to set up. And then you're gonna see like where can we start to head? Can we sell below 51.73, or can we create a support to support the idea that price can move up? Because right now it's still in some kind of a delivery right over here. I see it's not fully pulled back to the buyer's entries, maybe just the shotgun play entry right over here. That's where it pulled down to, but you still had the breakouts. Remember the earlier breakouts from before. So it just retested the shotgun entry players right over here. See the volume started to come back in. So it's still within this kind of like delivery. It's trying to find its way above this area up over here. They like break through that level. If it breaks through that level, it'll still have a bit more clean room to move up, like 25 pips. Path of least resistance up here. I'm not here to suffer. CoinX perpetual futures now on TradingView. The exchange expands their existing spots data coverage to include a wide range of perpetual futures. Nice. Man, TradingView hasn't given us any cool updates of late. The coolest thing that we got was Zoli. Since Zoli, it hasn't given us nothing. What is this? Matsu. I mean, look at this guy. We got this Justin guy creating AI and stuff. Like, that's what TradingView should be doing. It hasn't yet incorporated AI besides from breaking down latest updates into the system. Don't know what the holdup is. Like even you know, they could charge like a higher subscription fee for the AI version of TradingView as well. They could still make some money there. Yeah, like little AI buddy over here. It's gonna tell you things. It's gonna tell you, Architect, we are currently at a resistance here. Please trade with caution, secure profits, or manage your risk. They're gonna say, oh, thanks for the reminder, buddy. Then it's gonna say, no problem. That's why I'm here. We got a small little shotgun here. We had a minor close above resistance. Minor close above resistance, just with like 1 pip. It's trying to get through that level. As a buy side target though. Currently still in a small distribution. Because once it gets to this resistance, that's pretty much it for gold, right? Because once we get here, all of this is just like all additional heavy lifting. So we got like some red zones. Red zone, like all this area here is just like a red zone. So this is literally the last bit of green. That price can move anywhere. Last bit of green. And if it moves to that level, then it's probably just gonna retrace and create structure again to keep now trying to push up above the red zone. Hey, Real Ellie, welcome back, welcome back. Real Ellie in the house. I was waiting for something like this to form and price to break the 5200 level, but price never did. Isn't this a setup? Yeah, it is that move. Hey, you drew it, man. You drew it, but like it came a bit higher up. It seems like this was a move, right? But on the 5-minute create, that support a bit higher up. That's accumulation on the 1. Or is that different? No, that's a different time. Okay, I see. Kind of looks similar. Yeah, now it's started to stagger a bit here by buy side target. Looks like it couldn't follow through. Let's see on the 1 hour. And it's still a fresh hourly candle as well. So this candle here hasn't had a move yet. Since the open. Still pretty fresh. That was pre-London. Oh. What do you think about the pivot point standard indicator set to 5? I used to trade pivot points when I was learning how to trade. You get your reactions of pivot points like you would anything. If you know, pivot points, it's going to draw like random lines. It's going to have R1 here. I don't know, R2 here. It's going to draw random lines across the chart, yeah? Even if you put like a random line like this, can still have a reaction if we go back in time. You'll still find some kind of reactions. So I don't like pivot points because it's like you're handicapping yourself. It's just taking data from previous resistance, for example, then showing you like something here. So I wouldn't use pivot points. Just use market structure, like the way you can see it here. Like you have resistance from here to here, and that's it. Most of the time, that's all that I need to know. If for when I'm looking to see what direction price is gonna go. That's all that I need to know. I just need to know where's the clean ranges. Just like the sells that we called yesterday on stream. Like once we saw a break below here, I know like, okay, price has room to move down from here to here. So when I get my entry confirmation, that's what I'm expecting for price to do. You know, so I even attempted a sell yesterday. But you see, on my sell, look at how crazy this thing was. On my sell, and then it just completely nutted after the sell. The problem was I just got stopped out by the market. This is a pre-NY. You know, but look at this. Look at this. This would have been a bomber clot trade. Bomber clot. Simple concepts done right. TFX. This would have been a bomber clot trade right over here. See, it like dropped about, let's see, roughly like almost 200 pips. That's all that you need to know. You don't need no pivot points. No overcomplications. But, you know, everybody got to go through a journey. And then you're going to see it later that you didn't need all that stuff. But in the beginning, you want to have all that stuff, correct? Like, as you're still kind of learning, you're gonna like naturally you want to have all that stuff. Then later, you're not going to want to have it. Even the same thing, like when you start to make money, in the beginning, you're going to want a lot of things. And then later, you're not going to want anything. You just going to want like a simple life in the end. Just like Alan Watts says. Alan Watts, the best lecturer. Shout out to Alan Watts, man. Like, you can listen to that guy speak for hours. And he says, if you're going to live a life and you're going to live all your dreams, in the end, you're just going to end up being where you are right now. In the end, you'll come back down to simplicity after you're done with everything that you've experienced in life. It will just be simple. Life will become simple. So that's how it's going to be. Like, you're going to first play with pivot points, then you're going to get rid of it. You're going to play with MACD. You're going to play with divergence. You're going to play with volume profile. You're going to play with point of control. You're going to play with ICT. You're going to play with all of these things. But in the end, just like life, it goes back to simplicity. You know, and now it's only up to you to decide how fast that process is gonna take. Because you gotta move through it quickly. You know? Because you don't want to waste time. Are you talking about me? No, I'm just talking in general. Because that's what I used to do. I used to go MACD, RSI, divergence. Those were my favorite indicators. I play with the volume a bit. But the divergence one was my favorite though. RSI divergence. I've yet to see somebody trade with this thing. I don't even know if you can find a video on YouTube about fib circles. I wonder how that works. Oh, fib spiral. Oh, time cycles. Look at this. That's true, Vic. After doing all the shit you admired, you just missed the simple version of you? Yes. RSI idea of divergence is the same as order flow divergence, but with order flow, you are not lagging. Hey, with RSI divergences, there's not much of a lag because you know what would happen would be like, this would be a new higher high. Let's say you got a higher high and then you have another higher high. But you will see here an RSI would be like, how would that look? It would look something like this, right? You'll see it like this. But now the thing is like, you're just waiting for the confirmation. So it's a little bit less laggy. So you got that divergence down here and then like this. And the only thing that makes it a good trade now is the entry confirmation, because you can already see it's below that previous high. See, it's struggling here by buy side target, because all we knew was like price can move from here to here, and it attempted to have a continuation. I see like a minor little shotgun right there, not a very strong solid confluence, close about like 1 pip above 51.89, but for sure now it's starting to see that reaction. It's just all profit taking. It's gonna set up again, price is gonna come down, set it up again to move up. It's boring, but if you want boring, you're gonna make money. If you don't want boring, then you know, just go find something else to do. Go race cars, or you know, go find something a bit more exciting. But if you want to make money, then you gotta be happy to be bored in the process of making that money. So you're gonna set up again. Very simple. Not complicated. Point A, point B. Now it's gonna set up again, point A to wherever the next point B is gonna be. Oh, where the next point B is gonna be. Got some bars. Next point B is gonna be. The price comes down. See if we can end February a bit strong here. It's a 4 losing streak that I was on. I was on a 4 losing streak. Lost about close to 6% on that losing streak. That I made a trade today. At least I made back half of this. Now we're gonna make another trade today, and then we're gonna see. And we're going to see where this month here is gonna end. That was difficult. I haven't had a losing streak like that. I can't remember since the last time when. Because usually it would give me a break in between, you know, even like it's a 1 break. Because you see here, this could have easily been a 6 losing streak right here. But typically it would give me a break after 3. Get a break, and then, yeah, this time was actually quite difficult as well. This was in September. In September, it seems we had some crazy speed bumps here. 3 loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. Before you break out, you know, you have to just keep going. And before the market breaks you out again into stable conditions to trade. You see, then you kind of like break out like a plane going through a thunderstorm. You just gotta go through the thunder right here. So that's currently what's happening. Because, you know, like each strategy, as I always mentioned, it's gonna have a cluster of losing and winning trades. So we're just getting into a bit of like thunder over here. Then we just seen a little bit of green sky. So hopefully from this point onwards, that's a signal that it can open up again. Because it's usually gonna be like either one of those W's are gonna be the signal that it's gonna open up again. That's why data and consistency is super important. So you don't get discouraged and you have something to fall back onto visually. Besides just from the P&L on your terminal, that you can fall back onto something a bit more visual like this, away from just the P&L. P&L is nice, but you know, you're kind of focusing on the progress more than anything else. Alright, I also had a 4L streak this week. Yeah, I wasn't forgiving, you know, because I'm quite used to gold being forgiving. But this week it hasn't been as forgiving on the setups. I see like perfect reaction off the buy side target. This is all profit taking from the buyers here at point A. See, it's like a video game. We're all kind of like looking at the same thing, but only when you can keep it simple that we can all see the same thing. When it's complicated, we're not seeing the same thing. See, so right now, what are we all looking at? We're all looking at price retracing and maybe even a potential sell towards this support. Right here, this is a minor range of about 37 pips. Candle here is about to close in 2 minutes. Maybe a potential sell down towards this next support. You see, we already mopped up 1 clean range. Next one's gonna be down here. It would be nice if it just like blasted through that level though. Like this. So this whole structure here is going to look a lot cleaner as well. When it comes down to set up again to move up or to even continue moving down beyond 51.73. With session bias mix and 50 SMA against, I still managed to secure 11 pips. See 11 pips. Small fake out. See daily bias. Accumulation, manipulation, distribution. Boom, boom, boom. Nice clean breakout. What trade was this? This is on the 5-minute gold sell. Oh, very nice. It's a 5-minute breakout. Candlestick closed below that support. Looks like you got it on the next candle. Like a small little shotgun. It would be perfect if this... I'm not sure how that played out, but if that created a top wick first before breaking, it been very clean. And it came to fill up the range. Bullish day, but 5-minute range was already filled. The path of least resistance for the sells, as there were multiple resistance above. Yeah, exactly. Like it would have been so much more difficult. You can see it. This is that area we're still struggling. We're kind of coming up towards it now, but we're still struggling within that kind of zone. There's this whole area, I think. See, so like path of least resistance was down here. You know, it's like very, very choppy conditions. Very choppy conditions. But you see, like, price recognizes it. And it wants to go through it. So whenever you have like a trade maybe not play out exactly as you want it to, it's nothing personal. It's just sometimes the market does struggle as well. For whatever XY technical reasons, it may struggle. You see like the first attempt even here as well. First attempt struggled. It's not always that it's also attacking you as well. Sometimes it is, but some other times it's just... there's just not enough orders probably. So then it reattempted. You see it reattempted. So some people like to give their trades a second chance. You know, you can give this trade like a second chance. I think in a whole month, maybe I give my trade second chances, maybe 2 to 3 times. Then I'll try to give my trade a second chance. In a whole month. I love taking same trades as you. It gives me confidence. Yeah, glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Because if we're saying the same thing, that's amazing, you know. That means we're on the same page. Not only us, but also on the same page with where these market participants who are making money are as well. Remember, it's just not us seeing it, but the reason for entry can differ slightly. Like the ways, the means of entry. But as long as we're all on the same boat, that's all that matters, you know. We're all heading to the same destination anyway. Some of us, you know, same plane, where some of us going to sit in business class. Some of us going to sit in economy class. But we're all heading to the same destination. TFX, we're sitting in business class. Or first class. Yeah, no, we're sitting in first class. Because, you know, we got pretty nice stops. And in refined entries as well. Pretty nice refined entry and pretty nice stop. So we got first class tickets. Because that's the only way you catch a move like that. With a tight stop, you need a refined entry. If you don't have a refined entry, the tight stop most of the time will get taken out before it goes in your direction. And remember, there's only one refined entry which is going to give you the push. There's only that one entry. You see, like right here at the break, there's only that one entry which is going to give you the push that leads to the further distribution. And there's only one. There's only one. So it needs to be refined. Right? If you're going to get like wicks and stuff like this, you might be getting a bit lucky because there might be no structure, or maybe you have an edge that I can't see. What your edge is, that's making you get into the wick entries. Right? But when we're just looking at what structure is, that's what we can overall see. But if you're getting on like wicks like this, that's a different thing. But before we start talking about structure and candles, there's only one entry that leads to a distribution. That way you can afford a tighter stop. So, you know, we're always trading what we see. Correct, guys? Like, we're not trading what we feel or what we want. It's what we see. The price is starting to try and push below support. Right here by 51.81. created a resistance. So it's not made that range as appetizing as it's coming down, because they've created a resistance. It's like a seller defense in a way, that resistance before it started to move down. So you see, it's like a video game. So the sellers want to push price down, so they've created a resistance here, and that's about to close in the next 20 seconds. Now buyers are still trying to hold 51.81, but now the sellers in a kind of strong spot because they have the SMAs in their favor and confidence. They got that minor resistance, and they're about to close below the buyers' support over there. Ooh, wow! Last second push. It had a few last second pushes here as it's mopping up the range. Oh, look at that! We're gonna bring out our tool over here. Beautiful. If not May, June, or July, big year, yes. I also had a 4L streak this week, was tough. A little character development, nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I see now the students in the front of the class, ICT students here. So this is what we call price action. So as you can see, instead of looking for price to reject your gap fills, we're looking for price to go through your gap fills. You see, just the same way that price moved up over here, price is going to move down through those levels. So we're not trading against the market. In fact, we want to trade in line with the market. And there's no time that we are trading against the market. So if it breaks a high, it's us presuming that price is going to go up. If it breaks a low, it's us presuming that price is going to go down. Because I know sometimes ICT concepts, you can do the reverse, or you can wait for the inverted the IFVG, so it can go maybe in line with the market structure. But with TFX concepts, we are always going where the market is telling us that it wants to go. In any case, even if you trade with the daily bias, because the entry confirmation is the one that confirms the direction, right? Otherwise, it shouldn't confirm the direction if it doesn't want to go in that direction. Now it's melting off over here. So now the next range. So you see, there's only been how many ranges since this buy over here? There's only been this range, and there's only been that range, that minor range, correct? Only those two ranges. Okay, we had one small one here as well. I was not paying attention to this one, but there was a small one here. But it looks like the candle went through it as well. It was about like 38 pips. Let's see if there's any confirmation to catch that. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, there was a minor accumulation there that you could have possibly caught, similar to what happened here, in fact. It's same, but different, right? It's just a slightly different variation. It's not the cleanest, not like what you had down here or down there. These are like smaller versions of it. Boom, boom, boom. This distributed. You can usually tell by the distribution as well. Like when you see the orders come in, you can kind of see it. It's just the same way when you see a head and shoulders play out. You're like, that's a head and shoulders, because now you've seen it play out. But now price is coming towards 51.73. You got another range down over here at like 80 pips. 80 pip range. Hey bro, I think I found a money glitch. What if we do opposite trades and close the one that hits the SL and leave the other one running? You know, when you try and outsmart the market's gonna reward you with a whip. It's gonna reward you with whips. You can try it, but you'll see in the end it's going to be both accounts losing money. Because of the fluctuations. This is how it stops that from happening, these fluctuations. So you could take like a sell and a buy, and then your sell gets stopped out and your buy doesn't hit profit, and then your buy gets stopped out. So that's how it mitigates that dumb shit. And it does it on a higher time frame as well. So even if you think the problem is the LTF, it will do that on the higher time frame. Because don't forget, like, higher time frame candles is still closing. High time frame candle also going to be doing the same thing. Market's very intelligent. It's coming down towards 51.73 now. It's going to break below here, and then it's going to try and attempt to fill that next range. It's very intelligent. That's why you're able to trade with some kind of a precision, right? Because it also means to do what it does. It means to do what it does. But you have to think in probabilities, right? Don't think in terms of like a trade by trade setup. Think in terms of like 50 trades, for example. Then you see in like 50 trades if it's doing what it means to do. So you can backtest this on your own and see if point A to point B does what it's supposed to do in 50 trades. Now we're going to see here next potential sells. Next zone. So if like trading zone to zone, right? Zone 1. Next zone. Zone to zone trading. Let's see. What do you think sometimes is the entry confirmations? Just getting your entry confirmations the way you want to see them. So like in this scenario, it's more like distributing from, it's still kind of like in a distribution phase. Right here. The only entry I see here is a shotgun to come down towards that support. So it's still in this kind of overall distribution phase. I see it's not even retested the shotgun entries here. I feel like Goldie wants to tumble today for some reason. Oh, like 1 minute 40 seconds, candles close. Oh, we also got unemployment claims later. For unemployment claims, we're expecting an increase in numbers, which is gonna be good, bad for the dollar. We're expecting bad numbers for the dollar. So if you get like 217 or above 217, it's gonna be bad for the dollar and good for gold. So we're already expecting some negative results here. So you got 50 seconds. It's pulling above the support. That range is still clean here on the 15-minute, 30-minute, hourly time frame. Hourly candle looks like it's also trying to push down. Kind of a small little break and retest from this area. Trying to push down to fill that range. But the HDF looks a lot more noisy right now than the 5-minute, for example. Looks a little bit more straightforward on the 5. It's going to be a wick fill and then a range fill. Yeah, rejected support. Will price drop that far down? It doesn't have to fill the whole range, but it needs to fill a bit of it. At least make some money. But it's possible for it to drop at least from this wick 100 pips. So it's, let's say roughly from here to here is like 140 pips. So this is the money zone, right? This is the same idea of yesterday's trade that we called after when we ended stream, and then it's the same trade that we took after stream for pre-NY. You know, and then that was a money zone that price can go and fill that area. So it's kind of like a similar thing. You just gotta wait for a confirmation. Now it's a liquidity grab, the low, close green and back up. So maybe it might be setting up on the 1 minute to break. Yeah, that's an area it's been struggling with though. You see all these rejection wicks here. It's not even a psychological mark. You can say like 5170, but I don't think 5170 is going to be so like important. It doesn't seem like a very, very important psychological mark. 5170. But it's rejecting something here, even though we had clean range. It could be a time thing, you know. Time is also another element in the market. So it could be waiting for like a pre-NY or NY open to follow through. If it wants to keep pushing down. That would be a buyout go in, but I need to grab the low on the 5 minute. That is not going to happen. I see from the order flow, no volume and candles show. Yes. Yeah, I see. I think that's why it's trying to do liquidity grabs here. It tried on the 1 minute already once. So if you go on the 1 minute, you see this minor liquidity grab. It tried to grab orders so it can push down. But you see, Goldie has been somewhat going thin on liquidity. I think it's because of end of the month profit taking. You see, it tried right here, but it couldn't follow through. So it's trying again on the 5 minute fractally. It's gone up a level. It's gone up a dimension, you know, like this is the first dimension. It tried, then it's gone up a dimension on the 5. So it's trying again. But it looks like it wants to come down. It's like behaving like this by 5173. It most likely wants to push. That's why they need support. They need some kind of a structure here. On the 1 minute. They gotta get like some kind of a reinforcements. Let's see. Alright, he's got 20 seconds. Candle's about to close. 20 seconds. Are they gonna take it? They got 15 seconds. 15 seconds. We got the sellers are coming in. Sellers coming in hard over here. They got about 10 seconds to make this run. Making a beautiful advancement here below 51.73, Tom. And we might see the sellers take this. They have taken it. Now we have not. Oh, Tom, we just got a candle here closed. No bottom wick. No bottom wick. That's going to make it kind of sketchy here for price. No bottom wick, Tom. This means that the buyers may have an edge to pull this thing back up. But the sellers have taken 51.73. Look at that beauty. Candlestick has poked its head down below support, but it did it with no bottom wick, Tom. Just like we anticipated here, the buyers are really trying to take advantage of that. The fact that there's no bottom wick. Let's see if the sellers can still hold that support by 51.73. Oh, it doesn't look like it, Tom. Looks like price is still pulling up here. They had a liquidity grab, but looks like we had a small whip over here. You know what sometimes could happen? Sometimes, like a seller, you can imagine if sell orders are meant to come in the market, because that affects probability. When there's no bottom wick, it affects probability for this next candle to move down. So, you know, sometimes you got to join the winning side. If you're a buyer, if you got to see the sellers are winning, you have to join them to create a fake out for them as well. So you can imagine if you wanted to buy and you could move the market, right? So the sellers are taking over. You can kind of like sabotage their probability to move down by a slight bit, by just pushing the sell just a bit more. And this happens in like literally milliseconds to balance it out there without a bottom wick. Correct? So it gives it back an advantage here that the buyers can quickly close their sell order and then get their buys in. So trading like that on a hyper scale actually can happen as well. It doesn't mean they also have to like push the whole way up. Sometimes it could be a move as small as this, because you know when you're going to trade like at such a high level, this is more of like an institutional style of trading. I don't think they're going to have the same challenges as retail traders when it comes to like spread and getting filled in. But that's the thing that we typically see is like if a candle closes without a top or a bottom wick, it ruins a probability unless there's a volume based entry within that region. But I can see on the 1 minute right here, there's no volume based entry within this area. So that was predominantly a 5 minute play. So it could have looked a lot better. Right now it's just sketchy. I think the only other thing they could that the sellers could attempt to get back in is because this has already created a top wick. If that was to reflip and then break its lows, it could use that as a range to continue to fill this wick fill over here and then continue to push down. Then it's going to look like a break and a retest as well. McGoldie wants to test the 51.50 level before pushing up. Well, I want to see this thing come down just from this wick break is about 114 pips. That's what it's looking to try and do right now. German 40 distributed quite nicely there too. That German 40 bull run. See where it's coming from? Really nice distribution on German 40. Oh, and German 40 also had like clean range too. Oh, it did mop it up. Look at that, it did end up breaking. here to head up towards resistance. To what Goldie's doing. Still trying to push on down. Yeah, but that's it, guys. I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Tomorrow we have Freaky Friday. So let's see how the weekends. Adios. Take care, everyone.